Today we're going to do a review of John Suscovich's chicken tractor. The plans are available in his book, and a link for his book is down below. First, we're going to pull out the Rigid MSUV. There's a link in the right hand corner to show an unboxing of this awesome tool. Now we're going to set up the guide arms to cut this lumber in assembly line fashion. The dimensions of all the lumber are clearly identified in the book. Now we have all the lumber cut. As you see on the right hand side are lap joints that are cut in. I'll show you how to do that now. Now we're going to put all the pieces together. This book has very detailed instructions on how everything is assembled, all the way down to what screws you need to buy. The door and the door frame are probably the hardest part of the project. Doing this project with these detailed instructions, I learned a lot, and I'm going to use everything that I've learned in future projects. Now that everything's built, it's time to assemble everything together. By the power of video editing, we are done. So now it's time to put the chicken wire on the door and the rest of the structure. I highly recommend getting a pneumatic stapler to accomplish this task. I could not imagine how daunting it would be using a hand stapler. The stapler that I used, I have a link below. It's fairly inexpensive, and I highly recommend it. It speeds up the entire process. I used a pair of diagonal cutters to actually trim the chicken wire. I'm sure this isn't the right tool for the job, and I'm going to do some research to find out on a better tool. I'll let you know in a future video. So bending conduit was new to me. I actually had to do a lot of research on YouTube on how to bend conduit. Now the book does give very good directions on where to mark it, the offset, and it even talks about a jig that you should build, as you see that I'm building right now. This jig will ensure that all your 45-degree bends are on the same plane as your 90-degree bend. It was very helpful, and I learned a lot about conduit building, and I look forward to building future structures using what I learned from this book. Drilling the conduit onto the frame is interesting as well. I have a drill press, and I actually made a jig on the drill press to drill the holes into the conduit. To minimize the chance of predators, hardware cloth is used on the bottom. Again, a pneumatic stapler is absolutely critical to get this thing done. Now the chicken wire. So the chicken wire, I stapled it, and then I actually just tie wrapped it onto the conduit, and it actually worked out quite well. This This is all by the instructions from John's book. Now my camera battery died, so I had to take these well after I was constructing it. I couldn't find the right size tarp, so I kind of improvised, and I actually had to make some modifications here. And you see those cedar slabs, those are from a pallet. I cut them up to hold down the tarp so it wouldn't rip. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this tractor. It took me about 7 hours to build. I don't know if I could do the mass production like John has, but I would recommend this to anybody that has the desire to raise meat birds on pasture. John has done a tremendous amount of detail, and I'm a really big fan of his YouTube page. I'll have a link down below. If you found this video, you probably already have heard of John Suscovich, but so putting me putting a link there is probably a waste of time, but there it is. Thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, click on the little bell, and look for new videos.